This guy is the real deal. He's a real rubber ducky. Not like those imposters back there. They're made of PVC, polyvinyl chloride. Rubber. What a fascinating material it is. And you know, you don't win a war without rubber. You need it for fan belts, for gaskets, and for rubber tires. Well, during the Second World War, the US was cut off from its rubber supplies in the Orient by the Japanese. Rubber comes from a tree, and a rubber tree doesn't grow in America. So American scientists had to look for some alternate supply, and they found that the guayuli plant produces a latex from which rubber can be extracted. And that made a contribution for a while, but then synthetic rubber came on the scene, and that is made from petroleum, that is from a fossil fuel, and at that time there was plenty of petroleum, so once synthetic rubber was made, the guayuli plant was squeezed into the background. Today, there are more and more cars hitting the road, and there's going to be need for an increased supply of rubber. 70% of all the rubber produced in the world goes to rubber tires. Now, the rubber tire is not all made of natural rubber. About 65% of it comes from synthetic rubber. It's a mixture. Why? Well, each one has its properties. Natural rubber actually wears differently from synthetic rubber, but it grips the road better. But synthetic rubber is cheaper to make and it is more durable. So mixture is ideal. However, there's going to be an increased need for both of these. And obviously we worry about using fossil fuels because we will eventually run out of those. So is there alternate supply of rubber? And there is a possibility now. Believe it or not, dandelions. Yeah, dandelions, specifically the Russian dandelion. In the 1930s, Russian scientists started to look for alternate supplies of rubber because they also were concerned about their supplies being cut off. And they found it on the steppes of Kazakhstan, and that was the dandelion. The roots of it can be ground up, and hot water can be used to extract latex. And by the late 1930s, about 30% of the Soviet Union's rubber was being supplied by dandelions. But then again, synthetic rubber came on the scene, and it was no longer as important to make it out of dandelions. Today, of course, researchers are looking back at that and are working on finding some supplies of rubber from plants. And both the guayuli and the dandelion are being explored once more. Now, the advantage of the dandelion is that it can grow in soil that is not suitable for agriculture, in poor soil. So this looks like a real possibility. So while you may not want dandelions on your lawn, I think the rubber industry is going to welcome them. So look for dandelion rubber in the future. And that for today is our Cup of Joe.